How NASA will build the Artemis moon base. I thought this was in preparation to go to Mars, this Artemis mission. I didn't know they were going to build a moon base.
In March 2026, NASA revealed an ambitious new plan for the future of American space exploration. On the surface, this is a blueprint for colonizing the moon, which is incredible, but
that would be so awesome to be able to look up at the moon and see, like, another fucking civilization. Imagine that shit. Oh, that'd be awesome. Get a little mini city over there. You got a big telescope.
Even more important revelation is that NASA itself has fundamentally changed into something that the world has not seen in decades. And
but is there any reason to be on the moon?
The reason for this change goes deeper than just new leadership. There is a great power competition that will play out on the moon in the decade to come.
Wait, China and Russia may build a nuclear power plant on the moon to power lunar station. How expensive would that be? That has to be like $1 trillion expenditure, because you're basically just shipping all materials on a rocket into space. Like, you'd have to shoot so many things into space.
Moon.
1 trillion? Bro, probably like more than 1 trillion. It's like $1 trillion to just get to Mars and back. Like, logistically. Like, I'm pretty sure the moon mission, the Artemis moon mission itself, or the whole plan that led up to it, like Artemis 1 and 2, was like $400 or $500 billion. So to, like, actually build a nuclear power plant, dude, you're going to shoot multiple rockets with shit up into space.
NASA was set to lose that contest, but the new NASA is playing to win. And this is how they're going
Screw that $1 trillion to Israel. Yeah, I think that's where the money should actually go, for sure.
To do it.
It'll be better spent over there.
When Administrator Jared Isaacman took the stage at NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C., there was one simple word projected on the screen behind him. Ignition. That word announces the beginning of a
we have a big IRL stream in Tel Aviv coming up.
Transformative journey for the American space program. The status quo has been rejected and replaced with a new direction to set high expectations and then meet them. Isaacman...
I gotta lock in. Stop with the jokes.
That word announces the beginning of a transformative journey for the American space program. The status quo has been rejected and replaced with a new direction to set high expectations and then meet them. Isaacman acknowledges that for decades, NASA has been spread too thin. They've tried to make everyone happy and in the process have accomplished very little. The result has been billions of taxpayer dollars wasted and years of progress lost. He also made it clear why that change must begin right now, because there is more to lose than just time and money. There is a great power competition with the Chinese to stake the first.
Yo, I was gonna say. So, I'm not making fun of him, dude. I saw that guy talking. And I look over and Highlander goes, "This guy's all ears." And I go, "See, what's funny about that is because he's all ears because he was listening too much, and it's all okay." I'm gonna move on. Budgeting is one of the best ways to see where you spend your money and where you're able to save. But no matter how good you budget, you still have to spend money on gas, groceries, and an occasional eating out. And that is where the Upside app comes in handy with getting you cash back at every step of the way. The Upside app has over 100,000 participating locations, meaning that there is cash back waiting for you around every corner. Upside users earn 1 million in cash back every single week. And unlike other programs, you can stack Upside cash back alongside credit card and loyalty rewards. All you have to do is download the Upside app, shop as usual, purchase with your credit or debit card, and earn cash back, and then you could cash out directly into your bank account, PayPal, or get a gift card. I drive a lot, and my car has pretty low miles per gallon. So I'm constantly at the gas station, and Upside really helps me get cash back there because I'm constantly filling up. Upside has given $1 billion back to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code JOEB to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon of your first tank of gas. That is 25 cents back on every gallon of your first tank of gas using promo code JOEB. Thank you to Upside for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it.
Change must begin right now, because there is more to lose than just time and money. There is a great power competition with the Chinese to stake the first permanent claim on the moon. And this is...
That really is the battle, because it's like, if you just go to the moon, you kind of like own that space, you know? And then you have to have like property rules on like who gets what.
Nothing like the space race the world saw before in the 1960s.
But this time, the goal is not flags and footprints. This time, the goal is to stay. America will never again give up.
I keep thinking about that joke that chatter made. Stop. Oh my God.
World saw before in the 1960s.
But this time, the goal is not flags and footprints. This time, the goal is to stay. America will never again give up the moon. That brings
now we have heard these words before from NASA administrators and politicians over the past decades, but words are hollow without actions, and historic actions require intelligent plans, which is the one thing that NASA has lacked since...
This shit looks 3D printed. Yeah, this is like Kerbal Space Program all over again. That shit's gonna break in a minute.
It's the very beginning of the Artemis moon program. Better late than never. A detailed, achievable, step-by-step blueprint for the Artemis moon base has finally arrived. And
$10 billion plus amount? I feel like it's gonna be way more than that. No way it's only $10 billion and we're getting all of this on the moon. Multiple landers, surface and orbital assets, launches. Phase 3, we're in 2036 planning out. It's a 10-year plan.
Has finally arrived. And it all begins with a complete overhaul of the moon landing schedule.
Oh my God. Well, it's also, dude, they actually could just do this over 10 years. As long as they land all the shit on the moon, none of it'll, like, it's not going to blow away. It's not going to rust because there's no air, right? Like, I know the moon has like a very thin atmosphere, but couldn't they just land shit and leave it there for like 5 years and then go get it? Like, as long as it's fine if it freezes or whatever.
Has finally arrived. And it all begins with a complete overhaul of the moon landing schedule as we have come to know it. For the first big change, there will be...
My camera's fucked.
No boots on the moon for Artemis 3. This has been reformatted into a dress rehearsal mission that will play out in low Earth orbit. Now, this probably sounds counterintuitive to everything we just said, but it's not. Because the old plan had a jump from Artemis 2, which is a crewed test flight of the Orion spacecraft, to landing on the moon using an entirely separate and unproven HLS vehicle. This was an unachievable goal, and the risk factor was so high that it never would have gotten off the ground. So the launch date became a can that was kicked further and further down the road with every year that passed. Under the new direction, Artemis 3 will instead feature the crewed Orion spacecraft and the lander vehicle meeting up in low Earth orbit for a rendezvous and docking procedure. The crew will then transfer into the lander for a test of the life support, communications, and propulsion systems.
Oh, so they're going to launch it up with no one. It'll get into, like, low Earth orbit, and then they'll test it out there. So it's not, like, the full risk of having to do another launch with people on the ground in Earth.
Possible, they'll also test the new lunar EVA spacesuits inside the lander airlock for the first time. Doing this in low Earth orbit means that problems can be solved and lives can be saved if anything doesn't work as expected.
True.
We already know about the Orion spacecraft, but this new moon lander is still a bit of a question mark. For many years now, this was assumed to be a lunar variant of the SpaceX Starship, but now, that is not so certain. Isaacman has confirmed that Blue Origin is back in the race alongside SpaceX with their Blue Moon lander, and one or both of these vehicles will be tested on Artemis 3. It all depends on who can get the job done in time for launch. This is a big aspect to the new direction at NASA. even SpaceX can be put on notice. Just because you won a contract in 2022 does not mean you are guaranteed a moon landing. The only thing that matters now is execution, and the first company to achieve their goal will be the one who sends American astronauts back to the moon.
All right, so we go back to the moon, and it's the U.S., China, and Russia all kind of arriving and putting shit on there at the same time. So are we, like, divvying up space, or are we going to get into another fucking, scuffle over this shit? Kim Jong-un does it first. Yeah, Kim Jong-un's daughter is not going to the moon. I'm actually 100% certain on that. If I see on the news Kim Jong-un testing out, like, cosmonauts, it's going to go about as well as that big fucking warship that they had, shoot into the water, and then it immediately sunk. They're not getting somebody to the moon. They're definitely not getting somebody to the moon.
Has been moved up to next year, 2027. And then once the new lunar lander is confirmed, the winner will be expected to keep moving at incredible speed. They now have only...
How would you know? They don't have the money. They actually don't have the money or the materials. Like, Kim Jong-un siphons all of his money out of his people, and basically just, like, his government just runs and does whatever they want. They don't have a fucking $100 trillion GDP. Like, they're not getting $1 trillion to go to the moon or $500 billion.
Few
they just
months
don't have the money
to test their
the rockets they flaunt that they're gonna fucking shoot at people. They have very few of.
Vehicle in an uncrewed moon landing and then turn around a completed design for Artemis 4. This mission is now scheduled for early 2028, and this is when America returns to the moon with a landing in the South Pole region. But like Isaacman said, this is not about flags and footprints. So to make their point clear to the world, NASA will land people on the moon again in 2028 with Artemis 5 scheduled before the end of that year. Now,
in 2 years, we're doing another fucking moon landing?
That sounds overly ambitious, but this is how NASA used to operate in their golden era.
Yeah, dude, they were ripping Apollo 10, Apollo 11, Apollo 12, Apollo 13. It was just like back to back to back to back.
The turnaround time between the first moon landing on Apollo 11 and the next landing on Apollo 12 was just 120 days.
That is wild.
And this is more than just a flex. This will set the new tempo for American moon landings with a crew arriving on the surface.
And let's keep ripping it. Just keep going. Keep going. Let's not do this 50-year lull period again. Fucking keep ripping shit. Start seeing space, right? Everybody in this chat, including me, is going to be dead in 100 years. I at least want to see motherfuckers touch Mars.
Once every 6 months from here on out. This is also where NASA's commitment shifts to establishing their permanent outpost on the moon. And that begins with...
Oh, wait, not me? No, you too. You too.
Prioritizing...
No, you too. You're in this group.
...surface operation over everything else. So the Lunar Gateway space station that was originally planned to orbit the moon, that's no longer on the table. But it...
Yo, be real. How many people in this chat live over 100? 5. Statistically, I mean, I don't know. We're in a new age of advancement. I also think my chatters are probably, I don't know. I don't really know how healthy I would say my chatters are comparable to other Twitch chats. Maybe slightly healthier, but I feel like I also have a lot of stoners and smokers in my chat. So, I don't know. I saw this one guy. Hold up. I gotta pull up this video. Like, I could tell you right now who's not living to 100 in my chat. This guy that I'm about to show is not living to 100. Like, I am certain of this. Yo, like, that is, I just saw that, bro. That shit's wild. That is a whole, like, thing. Bro, a whole bottle of ranch is the most outlandish part of that. It's not even like he just ate all those Oreos. Dude, an entire bottle of ranch is fucking disgusting.
Doesn't mean that time and resources spent building
Whole ranch bottle. Ugh.
the gateway have been wasted.
Ugh. That's not that bad. Dude, an entire box of Oreos is probably like 5,000 calories. Like 4,000 calories. Like, that alone, like, just set you back on, like, life-wise, like, a few days. Like, you're dying younger now.
either. All of the hardware that has already been developed for the station is being repurposed into the design of the first moon base. The construction
That chatter in my stream right now, eating an entire sleeve of Oreos.
NASA has set themselves a budget of $20 billion to get this done. It all plays out
20 billion, bro. That doesn't feel like a lot of money for like moonlight.
in 3 phases, and this starts right now. Phase 1 covers 2026 to 2028, and the primary goal over this time is to secure reliable access to the surface of the moon with a high launch cadence.
Oh my god, time out the guy that just said, can you get an erection in space? Yes, it's just the blood rushing to your dick. Why? You've been following me for 2 fucking minutes. Who is this chatter? Who is this fucking chatter?
That means sending 25 missions in the first 3 years,
VIPM.
with 21 of those being lunar landings. 2 of those will be crewed missions, but the majority of this phase is about experimenting with new technologies for the future moon base operations. This includes sending nuclear power to the moon. There is a sunlight problem up there that needs to be solved, and nuclear energy is the only way to do it. The day and night cycle of the moon is a lot longer than what we know on Earth, so the Artemis base will experience 2 weeks of continuous sunlight, but then it will be plunged into another 2 weeks of darkness. During that time, the temperature will drop below negative 200 degrees Celsius.
Wow, so they need to be ready for both polar opposites. It's like living in Iceland.
And without a source of heat, all of the hardware will freeze solid. That tends to be really bad for electronics, and they typically don't come back to life when the sun rises again. So NASA is going to experiment with radioisotope thermal generators. Basically, you have a radioactive element like plutonium that is actively decaying. That process naturally releases heat, and this heat can be captured to prevent assets on the moon from freezing solid. What kind of assets are we talking about here? Well, NASA has a radical new idea for exploring the moon: rocket drones. They call this new vehicle Moonfall. It's based on the Ingenuity Mars helicopter platform, but instead of
How you get a rocket, how you get a drone in the moon when there's no air? Like, there's no air resistance, so I'm not understanding how the drone would lift off.
propellers, it uses small rocket thrusters to move around.
Okay.
Each drone can fly
The wind, chat, a regular drone, would not fly on the moon.
for 150 seconds in one hop and cover up to 50 kilometers distance. They are going to use these to explore dangerous and hard-to-reach locations like tops of mountains and edges of deep craters. During Phase 1, NASA will also deploy their Viper rover. This is a golf cart-sized vehicle that is already built, tested, and has been waiting for a ride to the moon for years. 2027 will finally be that year. Viper will arrive at the moon on a Blue Origin lander. Once there, it's going to begin mapping the South Pole region for confirmed signs of water ice and other volatile materials like hydrogen, oxygen, and rare earth metal.
And oil. And oil. No. Because there's no biological life, so there wouldn't be oil. There wouldn't be oil on the moon. Imagine they found that. That would be bad. And oil. Urgh, they just start bringing a tube. Okay, we're going to connect a tube from the moon to the Earth.
NASA considers this to be lunar prospecting. Establishing the locations of these resources will be critical when Phase 3 comes around.
Where they start actually colonizing the moon. Here's the problem, okay? We're a bunch of stupid chuds on Earth. The people they send to the moon, gonna be really smart. So, over a period of time, if they colonize the moon, chat, I'm saying we as a group combined, only the smartest people are gonna be going to the moon. And if they all start having kids on the moon, aren't they going to be like a super species and we're going to be like the dumb idiots that still live on Earth? Like, I'm just saying, imagine like the Artemis crew, but that's everyone that lives on the moon. We would be idiots in comparison. It would be like, they'd be like I'm not even trying to get into like this weird, like, I'm not saying like eugenics. I'm just saying like they would be smarter.
Each rover will be able to cover up to 900 kilometers of the lunar surface, and beyond just exploration, they'll be used for work purposes like moving equipment and leveling ground for new construction. Overhead will be a new group of lunar communications and observation satellites.
Being smart doesn't mean you can teach, though. True. But you got to keep in mind that, like, if they're colonizing the moon in some regard, they're going to be actively thinking about ways that they can effectively raise people on the moon. This is, like, beyond our lifetime. Like, I think them saying they're going to have a moon base isn't really like, oh, we're going to actually, like, start a civilization there. It's like, we're going to have a moon base that's nuclear powered where we could gather materials, info, and use it as kind of like a launch pad to other places and other shit. Like, I'm saying if they were to colonize it, though, it'd be like, oh, only the best of the best teachers and people that would be sent there.
These will allow continuous data streaming from any location.
Until they send my ass there and I'm a sleeper agent. And then I activate on the moon.
On the moon to the surface of the Earth with a 500 megabyte per second throughput. They'll also provide a continuous view of the entire lunar surface from space. Now, this is very important to us, as in you and me, because NASA has mandated that all of these vehicles we just mentioned, the drones, the rovers, the electric cars, they are all going to be equipped with high-quality cameras that will live stream their entire mission back.
Oh my god, dude. Now I'm competing with NASA Twitch.
To Earth for everyone in the world to see. That sets us up for Phase 2, the transition into building a moon base. This plays out from 2029 to 2032. It involves 27 launches and 24 landings, and includes
27 launches.
The first infrastructure for permanent habitation modules. Over this time, NASA will deliver 6 new rovers, and these go beyond just exploration. NASA is talking about excavation in this phase, machines that can move rock, level ground, dig trenches for power cables and pipelines. We are building the foundation for things to come. One of these new rovers will also be the first pressurized mobile habitat. It's a vehicle being developed by the Japanese
Toyota?
Space Agency in partnership with Toyota. The 15,000 kilogram vehicle will essentially become an apartment on wheels. Astronauts inside will be comfortable enough to hang out in short-sleeved t-shirts and will travel at a speed of 3.5 kilometers per hour for days on end. The rover is expected to have a 10-year lifespan and will operate for up to 150 hours in total darkness. Phase 2 will also demand more power than ever before, and that comes in 2 flavors. The first will be solar energy. Solar panels will be mounted on top of long poles to capture as much sunlight as possible, and they'll be connected into large battery systems for long-term energy storage. That is going to be supplemented with nuclear power, and this goes beyond just keeping things warm. NASA will deploy nuclear fission reactors to the moon that generate hundreds of watts of electricity and supply multiple assets simultaneously. By the end of Phase 2, everything will be in place to support people living on the moon for extended durations. Now, Phase 3 is where we actually move in. This covers everything from 2033 onward, and the highlight of Phase 3 will be permanent habitation of the Artemis moon base.
What? In 2036? Wait, so we're actually having people, like, move and live there. Won't people that, like, are born on the moon, though, and grow up there be, like, really tall with, like, weak bones?
NASA projects that they can have a rotating crew of 4 people.
Oh my god, let's have a moon basketball court.
Staying on the moon for 28 days on a single mission.
Imagine that shit. Somebody dunking from half court. That'd be awesome to watch.
People will be living in
Moonball.
in multiple
Moonball. I would bet on that.
connected modules, basically a space station like the ISS or what Gateway was imagined to be, except built on solid ground. The habitat module.
Yo, yeah, somebody said Space Jam, and every time they play Moonball, they have to play the Space Jam. Coming to the jam! Space Jam.
Modules will be powered directly by their own nuclear fission generator and will be supplied with around 8,000 kilograms of food, water, and air every month. Outside of the base, NASA will begin their first in-situ resource utilization. That means harvesting rock and soil from the environment.
Yeah, and they just need to get, like, oxygen. Like, how are they going to be able to get, like, that's what this said. Key commodities, oxygen, water, rare earth metals, and hydrogen.
In situ resource utilization. That means harvesting rock and soil from the environment and using it to their advantage. Water can be extracted from ice reserves in the bottom of shadowed craters. The water can be split into oxygen to breathe and hydrogen to use as fuel. NASA is also going to start experimenting with 3D printing, taking dust from the surface and melting it down into a pourable cement that will eventually build the first genuinely permanent structures on the moon. Now, if you're thinking that this sounds like doing the impossible, then you are not crazy. NASA has admitted that what they are trying to achieve is very nearly impossible. But that's kind of the point. We're not doing this because it is easy, but because it's hard. The Chinese are also fully prepared to do hard, nearly impossible things. These are the stakes of the new space race. Good enough is no longer good enough. And NASA knows something now that they've been missing for a long time. Because the real key objective of this whole Artemis plan isn't actually to build a moon base. The real imperative is to inspire...
It's to beat the Chinese! Oh, sorry.
...the next generation of scientists and engineers, the young people who will accomplish things in their lives that we would genuinely believe to be impossible today. But those kids will never do that if they don't have the motivation to go out and make it happen. It's NASA's job to lead by example, and they haven't been doing that for a very long time. But the future is finally back on track today.
Valid.
If you want...
The only thing is, like, yes, the US has, like, a crazy GDP, but, like, China's government has infinite money. Infinite money. Oh, my God. Like, they could... I feel like China could this is just Joe Bart take. I'm not saying this is fact. I think China could more easily fund this than the United States by far. Like, they just have... Dude, they could just do anything. Like, that's cap. Dude, they literally artificially lower the value of their dollar when their output is so high and the money that goes into China is so much that, like, their dollar should be worth more than it is. But they constantly just fucking filter it through the government and then put that into, like, spending. That's why you see, like, these huge fucking cities that are just, like, so advanced because they're just constantly putting money into, like, other stuff rather than the citizens' pockets, if that makes sense. So there's, like, positives and negatives to it, I guess. I don't know. That's a deeper conversation for another day, though. All right. Chat next video.